Hey guys, and welcome back to the Blue Podcast. This is the Green Show. Woo! Debut of the Green Show. You only get one of these, unfortunately, until September. But this is going to be our regular EFL Football League show where we're going to talk about League 2, League 1 and the Championship and give them a bit of a spotlight. Joining me this week, we've got Josh.
Yeah.
And Alex.
Yes. Hello.
Welcome, boys. So we've got 2 League 1 reps.
We have.
Yeah. So we'll get into League 1. We'll start in League 2. I think the plan is in September to have a permanent League 2 host and a permanent League 1, and then obviously I'll rep the Championship, even though my beloved club are no longer in the Championship anymore because we got promoted.
The luxuries
to the Premier
luxuries of
League.
having a good club.
But for this video, we're still a Championship club, so that works. It works for now. How are you boys doing?
I'm good. Excited to get this one started.
On the roll.
I'm good. I'm excited, as you said. I'm quite pleased to talk about League 1.
Yes.
A good spotlight. So
yeah, we didn't think it was enough podcasts on League 1 and League 2, so we thought let's give them some spotlight, and let's start with League 2. Obviously, none of us are League 2 fans at the moment, but we've done our best to kind of make some. I made some notes here as to stuff that's been going on. We'll start at the top. Wrexham, 2 promotions in a row.
Go on, I'll let you go.
I mean, it's impressive.
It is impressive.
Phil Parkinson's done a good job. We can't deny that, but if it depends. I mean, it's a good story. Netflix will get some stuff out of that, but yeah, it's sort of. It's not a fairy tale as people are pointing it out. From my perspective, it's not like they've gone back to back. They have a lot more funding than someone like Morecambe, perhaps.
Oh yeah, they could buy the best players in each league they went.
I mean, they bought Paul Mullen, who was at League 2 top
goal
scorer.
He was League 2 top goal scorer and dropped him back down.
Dropped down 2 leagues
after getting promoted.
Yeah.
Could have played
after getting his own stand at Cambridge.
But now he is playing in League 1.
Yeah,
so it was a good gamble.
Yeah. 2 years.
And he's on a lot more money than he would have been at Cambridge, so fair play to him.
True.
And he's got that kind of cult standing where, obviously, you're massively known because of the documentary and all that. We've got the likes of Ollie Palmer, who's doing well there as well. He's going to be in the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie to help promote. So he's going to be in one of the scenes. So massive, gone from footballer to movie star. Vinnie Jones is kind of career path. But yeah, I think it's pretty well known that the step up from League 2 to League 1 is not a massive jump.
Oh, that's a big shout.
In comparison with the National League to the League 2.
But you say that as well.
I'd say there's a lower
National
gap.
League teams, where if you're good in the National League, you normally do well in the League 2.
That was my thought. So once you get up, then you've got that easier to bridge. I think
League 1, it depends. Leighton Orient done really well this year and were in the playoff race right at the end. Unfortunate not to pick up some points that they probably should have. Done very, very good job at holding on to Richie Wellens. Sorry, I'm going on League 2 now. But Northampton, Carlisle was your example that probably there is a bigger gap than Fort. But then again, Carlisle came through the playoffs. They didn't really dominate in League 2 as much as Northampton, Orient, and obviously Stevenage. Forgot about them as well. They did really well. Bottled the playoffs, but they did really, really well. But yeah, in terms of Wrexham, Stockport coming up as well. They've got big funding behind them.
And Mansfield, I think they'll all do.
Mansfield as well. Lee Gregory coming in.
One of them will go down out of those 3 promoted.
Yeah.
I think Stockport will do well. They've had a very decent season. They have a good team. Wrexham, of course. And then Mansfield. I'm not too sure about Mansfield, to be honest with you. I haven't seen much on
I think those 3 will be your Leighton Orient, Northampton, Stevenage this season. I couldn't tell you which way it's going to be. And then again, it depends who Wrexham bring in because they can bring in Championship quality players like that. So
exactly. So whoever's leaving on a free from the Championship at the moment, they could easily pick them up for League 1. And any other League 1 stars that they feel like picking up the best and the best. MK Dons could get raided. Anybody like that, they'll bring them across because you've got that money that you can offer alongside the other clubs. I think even if you're not talking like massive money, that fame offsets that a little bit. So you not only get that a little bit of a bump, but you get that massive fame boost and being in the documentary and all that. Then, it's much easier to do, isn't it?
It's more appealing for them as well because they will get more sponsors. Like as a player, you would think, that's a perfect opportunity if you're at a lower thing. So.
Do we think Premier League is doable for Wrexham? This is the question.
Controversial, but I think they'll find a standstill now.
Yeah,
I think they'll get to that point now where they'll build a good squad, just miss out on playoffs, and then potentially rebuild over the next couple of years. We don't see them going up next year. I potentially could see it the year after. If not, then definitely the year after that. I think they'll probably sit in League One for a little while. But then again, it wouldn't shock me if they go up straight away.
If they go up, I don't know. I could see them
It's happened to other teams, in all fairness, which we'll get onto.
Yeah.
Turn into a bit of a Rotherham, potentially.
Or a little bouncer.
A little bouncer.
Bounce between,
I don't know. Wrexham, I guess, you never know. They've gone back to back. You don't know how much the owner's going to put in.
Depends when they look to sell as well.
So
they
if
could.
they
could.
If they get into the Championship, they could go, that's us set now. Let's sell the club.
I would probably say mid-table Championship right now with all the facilities, what they have to offer. That's probably their ceiling. But if they invest in the facilities, you never know.
I think if they get to the I think if they get to the Championship, why would they quit at that point? I think they would want to go for the full hog, go for the Premier League. But we'll move on. I wrote down here MK Don's string season. I think that's meant to be strong. my note-taking ability, boys. But MK Don's a strong season, and they finished above Wimbledon. So it's a massive season for the Dons. Tom is not happy about that. Obviously, it's not great what happened with that whole thing, but I've been to the MK Arena several times. Yeah, it's a great stadium.
It's a brilliant stadium. It's very interesting when you go play them away because it feels like a pre-season friendly because there's just no atmosphere. It's just so...
Tom's having that one off camera.
Yeah, but in terms of strong season, it was a bit up and down, wasn't it? Obviously, changed managers and, then got absolutely battered in the playoffs by
cruelly.
An incredible Scott Lindsay side. Yeah, it was 7 or 8-1 over.
8-1
over.
Yeah, because they finished. I think they finished above Crawley. They finished third place quite comfortably as well. And then
Scott Lindsay's got Crawley
to lose that game by that much. It's quite impressive, if anything.
Is this coming out before the playoff? No, it won't. It'll come out after the playoff final.
So we'll know for sure whether or not Crawley go up.
Yeah, I think Crawley will win it.
Tomorrow the playoff final.
It's Oxford tomorrow, and then.
Tomorrow, Go on, Oxford. Go on, Oxford. I've got lots of teams in lower league. Oxford. I used to live in Oxford, so I've been to the stadium a few times. But I mean, going back to MK Dons, where else could I have watched Neymar go up against the legendary Gaitang Bong? As Cameroon played Brazil in a friendly several years ago that I went to see. Like, what a stadium to have around Britain, just to have in the lower leagues. Like, it's mental. But yeah, bit of a decent season, but then back in it in the next season, so potentially look for that promotion again. Forest Green, they're gone.
Thank God.
Yeah.
The vegan club.
Horrendous stadium.
Back-to-back relegations is tough.
You feel bad for the fans as such, but then again, the whole controversial... Do you know what it is? It's their owner. That's why they're hated so much. It is the owner. It is the owner.
Yeah, but they've had such an up and down. They had Deeney at one point for, what was it?
That's
6 games.
Who appoints Deeney as a manager?
Ruined Dabo. I don't
We've
know.
got to stop appointing good Premier League strikers as managers because it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's horrendous,
it's
isn't
ridiculous.
it?
Yeah.
We had Dabo on trial, and I remember watching him in an under-21 game just before he went to Forest Green. Horrendous.
It's crazy.
Looked so off it.
It's
but
crazy.
I think that penalty's just got to him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, one penalty, well, not one penalty, but
Well, it was one penalty.
One penalty away from Premier League, and now he's without a club and just left the League Two team. It's crazy. Well, one thing
Probably going to be a National League player if he's going to get a club.
and that's just a year after missing a pen to go to Premier League. That's crazy.
Okay, one last bit of feedback on the league this year in League Two. Top goal scorer and top assister were both from Notts County. We've got Macaulay Langstaff and Jody Jones doing the business.
If they
for
didn't
Notts
lose their
County.
gaffer, they would have gone up.
You think?
They would have won the playoffs.
Who did he get pinched by again? It was a big
Swansea.
team. Was it Swansea? I don't know if it was Swansea or Plymouth. I thought it was one of those.
It was going to happen eventually. He's fantastic manager, fantastic coach, and they played such good football for the level they're at. And Jody Jones and Langstaff will probably end up at Swansea. Wouldn't shock me.
No.
Langstaff definitely. Jody Jones, I'd love him at Charlton.
We had him on trial. We had him on trial last summer. So, oh no, not last summer. Summer before last when we were in the Championship. So
you've missed out on that one.
Yeah, good
it's
deal
unfortunate, but he's had a very good year. I think he's got 19 assists or something. Like that.
It's
incredible.
Something like that. Yeah,
but I think as you said, back to the National League point, they've jumped up. They were, as Josh said, you probably keep them. They probably would have gone up because they were that much better than National League teams, and then a step up.
you just watch the way they fell after they lost him.
Mm.
And I know League Two was so tight this year, but just the way they dropped them. But they finished in the end, 14th, 15th, around that sort of point.
Yeah, it was very much mid-table.
So it was sort of just like a bit demoralising after how it started. But Doncaster, I want to give them a quick shout. Doncaster was fantastic.
I think they were 34 games played. They were 20th.
They were 20th in March and finished in the playoffs.
5th, didn't they?
Yeah,
5th or 6th.
5th or 6th. So it's just mental.
They finished 5th.
5th or 6th.
And they were 20th.
Yeah. So they had 12 games and they finished.
In 12 games, they won 20th to 5th.
How many games? A
I think
ridiculous amount of games
or 10 in
a row.
Something.
It was more. I think it did more than that in the end.
Damn.
Every single game they just won.
I'm completely missed that. This is why we need someone watching League Two week in, week out, because I completely missed that.
And
Rose up, and then obviously lost against Crew.
Yeah.
Crew
on penalties.
Crew have had
in
a
all
solid
fairness.
year as well.
Yeah.
Crew turned it around that second leg. First leg they looked down and out, and then obviously got the 2 early goals, got back into it, and then obviously got their penalties and.
Well,
now
we'll
playing
see.
at Wembley.
We'll see who gets up in that game at Wembley. I think that one is in a couple of days' time, so we'll keep an eye out for that one. Let's move on to your league, and I'll let you guys kind of kick it off with talk about Charlton and Reading.
After you, Josh.
Do you want me to start? I could sit here all day and talk about Charlton. No, obviously, I split our season into how many? We're doing 3 thirds.
Yeah.
We're going to third. No, I'm going to 4. Actually, I'm going to quarters because you had start of the season. We were making good signings. Obviously, brought in the best player in the league in Alfie May.
Yes.
Best striker in the league. Sorry,
Best goal scorer.
Best striker in the league in Alfie May. Brought in Lloyd Jones, who's top centre back at Cambridge. Panucci Kamara coming in. Harry Isted off the back of that fantastic playoff final. It was just sort of. I don't know whether I'm missing any players, but it was. Everything was deemed out to look good. We still had Dobson, we still had Blackett Taylor. It was just looking like it was going to be a good year, and then the start of the season happened. 1-0 against Leyton Orient. Decided to do some Bundesliga way thing with the whole squad, and I think that was karma. And conceding against Peterborough, individual mistake. Conceding against Oxford late on. Conceding against Port Vale late on. Conceding against Bristol Rovers late. It was just horrendous. And then obviously Dino gets sacked. You bring in Michael Appleton. God knows how he gets jobs. I think he was friends with one of the owners, and that's how he got the job.
Jesus.
And then, we sort of went on the new manager bounce that every new manager has. We went on a little unbeaten run of 8 or 9 games. Then it sort of went downhill when we drew to Cray Valley in the Cup. And then we went 2 months without a win. Sacked him way too late. Should have been sacked after Boxing Day. That's my second quarter. Then the third quarter was that 2 months without a win. And then bring in Nathan Jones, who...
That's a good appointment. That's a very
fantastic
good
appointment.
How you convinced him to come down to League One, I don't know, because he was Prem less than a year ago.
Yeah, well, he was offered the job in September, wasn't ready to come back into management, and that's why we ended up with Appleton. And God knows where we would have been if we had Jones from September. You never know.
Push.
But in terms of next year, the signs are good. I don't think we'll go up next year. I don't think we'll get playoffs either. I don't think it's happening.
Do you think Nathan Jones sticks around if you don't get playoffs?
Yes, I do. I think he said it's a project at the end of the day. He said fans have got to be patient, and I am happy to be patient. If it doesn't happen next year, then we go again the year after that. But I don't think we're going to be as dominating as some people seem to think we're going to be, because if you watched that team last season, on paper we've got some good players, but we need a whole new squad to be even in a chance of getting in and around playoffs.
Well, hopefully Nathan Jones can turn it around.
Hopefully.
He's a decent manager, so I would have thought he would be able to. Let's move on to a little bit of a sadder story.
It's been a turbulent season, to say the least. So, obviously, we still have owner issues. That's been a constant thing.
Yes, but we are in a period of exclusivity now.
We are in a period of, and I think it's coming to the end based on what I've been seeing on the media and stuff.
I would say the same thing. I have my own personal connection with Reading, just for everybody who's wondering why I'm saying we. But as far as I'm aware, end of June, I think it is.
Yeah, there's something they're paying bills, they're paying everything else. They're pretty much taking ownership. But
there's a loan been taken out against some shares. So if they can't pay it back, they take the shares. So I think that's just them selling it. I'm pretty sure. But
crossed. We will see. We will see. But turbulent season. So obviously, I was actually really excited. Josh can say when we got Ruben Sellers, I thought he was a fantastic appointment. I really sort of admire his coaching style and how he does it. But summer, linking into that, it was actually quite a good summer. Lewis Wing was a fantastic signing, as he proved to be. We got Harvey Nibbs. We got some good League One players, which is what we needed.
Charlie Savage
from Manchester United. Yes,
that was a good signing.
I was annoyed that we sold him to you as well, because I thought I want to keep this lad. I want him in the squad. But
he's been solid. Ben Elliott as well from Chelsea. We got good young players. Our recruitment was really good in the summer, so I was like, okay, this could be decent. And then Reading turned up.
Did have the point deduction though. So
we had 6 point deduct. Yeah, we had was it 4 to start the season.
Yeah,
4 to start the season. So we started on a back foot, but yeah, it just didn't really get going until what was the day? Because I didn't go. It was November. It was Shrewsbury away. That's the turning point of the season. That's when we woke up. So I was meant to go to that, but then booked the wrong train because I didn't realise. I was like, coaching starts at 10, and it didn't finish at then. But that's a tangent. That was the turning point. Everyone on Twitter, that was toxic. It was just like bang, bang, bang. No one wanted Sellers at that point. I still backed him. I again appreciate him as a manager, but that was the turning point. Then from there on, we went. I believe, I could be wrong here, I believe it's just outside of playoff form we've been since November. I think the team just started clicking. We started trusting our players. January was a bit like, I'm surprised we carried it on, to be honest, after January, because we lost Nelson Abbey, who's fantastic. We lost someone else, but I can't think of the name off the top of my head, which is bad.
What was it? Went to Luton.
Oh, Tom Holmes, but we loaned him back in. He got injured. He wasn't really a part of that second half. But we just played good football. Everyone started turning on. I think it's a testament to Sellers getting a group of young players, I think, as well. Getting them all in. Got another point deduction midway through it, so it was like, are we going to stay up? But then we just started playing football, and it turned into, actually, I think, a really successful season. We got a load of young players in. The team started clicking. There's a huge family bond, it almost seems, and we just started playing. The only sour note is we just got fined by the FA again.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other thing, because that was a youngster signing that they got
that was
5 years
to Elise. Yeah, it was I think it's Elise's agent put a clause in his contract
bloody agent,
that he gets 10%. Yeah,
it's dodgy.
Club weren't happy with it, but
hopefully, if the ownership changes and you stop getting point deductions, looks fresh for that
next season. Yeah. I don't think we'll go up. I think we'll.
You're just gonna chill in League One for a little bit.
I think we'll chill next season and then push the season after. But we can't sign anyone until 2025, summer 2025, because of Da Young and getting us transfer embargoes.
God damn it, Da Young! bloody foreign owners of clubs.
It's Chinese owners. There's a huge thing. Not even West Brom. They've sold now, I believe.
Yeah,
so they had Chinese owners.
Yeah.
They were in a slump, and there was someone else.
They kind of the Chinese authority put restrictions on what you can buy.
It was a huge, it was
because the whole Chinese Super League.
Yeah, it was that. Apart. It was the boom. AC Milan had. This is a bit of a tangent. AC Milan, Atletico Madrid, they all had Chinese owners, and then that was the big boom of the Chinese Super League, and then
it
all came crashing down
collapsed.
once the CSL collapsed.
Yep, it is what it is. Hopefully, get a. I don't know who the guy. I think the guy buying Reading is Swiss or something.
Yeah.
Let me quickly run through some other points from League One. I put Alfie May down here. Obviously, you said about him already. Scored loads of goals. Pompey back in the Championship where they belong. Back in the top flights of football. Good to see. Same with Derby. They've been able to recover after Rooney left them in a hole.
Not the only teams left in the hole.
Well, we'll come on to that. Karamoko Dembele did quite well this season in Blackpool.
Decent player, yeah.
Remembering he was at Barcelona for a bit, when he went to Celtic. Everyone thought it was his big thing, never really did it.
16, wasn't he, when he made his debut? 15 or 16 at Celtic.
Jesus, ridiculous.
FIFA career made legends.
He
was.
But he's done really well in League One. Now he's going back to France, so hopefully he can show what he's got.
Or will he go back to Blackpool?
Who knows? See if they can do a deal.
Yeah.
And then finally, I've just got some thoughts of Ward Prowse, who you'll know from behind the screen. He is a Peterborough fan, so I've got his thoughts. He's bottled promotion in the playoffs and he's lost to Oxford, which he's not happy about.
I wouldn't be happy.
He's got the Bristol Motors Cup
They
He
did
won
win that,
against-
yeah. They
against
did win
Wycombe. He thought John Clark Harris was great, but now he's been released and gone to Rotherham
that. Yep.
in League One. Harrison Burrows and obviously John Clark Harris, team of the season, did quite well. A fourth place finish with a goal difference of 28 and 25 wins, not bad. And then he was also mentioned that Ronnie Edwards and Jadel Katongo were in the elite squad.
Will Ronnie Edwards go?
So it's the men's under 20s for England is now the elite squad.
Yeah.
Elite development, so they were both
And
in that
they
squad.
were-
Will he leave? That's the question.
Ronnie Edwards.
Yeah.
He's a
I
decent. He's at
think-
least good enough for the championship, so we'll see. Probably maybe give him one more year and then look to.
I potentially could
I
see him
think
moving
he
to
will.
either like a Luton or Ipswich.
I'd
one
love
or
him
the
at
other.
Ipswich, actually, because we need a little bit of a passer from the back, because we do miss that. But Burgess is great, but he's just a little bit older now, slower, not got that pass in him. But that brings us nicely on to Ipswich, I guess, because we are moving into the championship. Obviously, no longer that's not going to be necessary anymore. See that the championship badge, that's gone. You have a nice Premier League badge there next season. But what a season it's been, boys! Back-to-back promotions. It's a good season, isn't it?
It's mental.
I mean, it's pleasing to say the least that it's not just the same three going back up.
It is, yeah.
Agreed. I mean,
But no, it's unbelievable.
It will probably be Leeds Southampton in the playoff final. Obviously, I'm not going to discredit West Brom. They could
West Brom
surprise tonight.
They had a good year until the end.
Yeah.
No playoff form.
well, they nearly dropped out.
no
It was
playoff
up
team
for
went
it.
in form though. Like Norwich, none
Yeah,
of them
they
were
all
in
went-
form. They
yeah.
were
Yeah,
out
but
of form.
but Norwich, they're always going to crumble in the playoffs. They haven't got that spine that some other East Anglian good teams
The
have got.
first leg was so boring, and then it's something like when you go back to Elland Road, and it's like Wednesday last year with their comeback coming
was
from
mental.
4-0 down. Obviously, going back to Hillsborough, when I was there on the night, you could just feel that there was a sense that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I said it the whole time because my missus is a Wednesday fan, and I've got another mate who's a big Wednesday fan as well. And just being in the Cop during that game was something else. It was like you could just sense that something was going to happen. And obviously, fantastic achievement this year, staying up as well. And I'm sure that's one thing we'll get onto.
Yes. Is it on my notes? No, it isn't.
Is it not?
No, it's not. That's
a
bad of me.
big talking point.
Big talking point that I've completely missed.
Nah.
We've also got Leicester, who have won the league, but they almost bottled it at the end there. If we'd have won another game, I think we would have had them. But again, a good season from them with a new manager, first time managing as well. Hull didn't do too badly.
Oh, that's a big talking point.
That's a big one.
Great
because
loans, great loan signings.
They've had a huge transfer window, really good. Like their team is very good on paper.
Yeah.
They sacked
Liam
Ridiculous
Rosenier.
decision.
Why would you do that when you've got you from like
so it was
bottom to mid-table?
It
up
was
to
season
playoffs?
before, so 2022-23. They were they finished 19th
Exactly.
when he took over, and he's brought them in a season. Obviously, they've had some very good loan signings. I just can't discount that, but from 19th to 7th in a year.
Yeah, but you've got Philogene in there on a permanent. You've got Seri on there on a permanent. You've got Tufan, and then you've got these.
What's his name? Centre back as well.
Oh yes, I know who you mean.
Jacob Greaves.
Jacob
Yeah,
Greaves,
yes,
defender.
yeah.
He's at least like top championship quality. So like, it's not all just like it's a lot of loans, more than I would expect. But there are some good players that he's got on a permanent as well. And he's just kind of thrown him away, which isn't great.
It's
I
gonna
think.
And now he'll get picked up by Plymouth, and hopefully
Plymouth,
turn them
annoyingly, I
around.
could see Norwich making that deal as well, but hopefully they don't.
Well, he's pretty much in final talks with Plymouth now. I think.
Oh, is that
It's
actually
final
happening?
stage of interviews?
That might get them promoted. That would get them up there because, like I said, I saw Plymouth last year in the League One against Ipswich.
If they had Schumacher for the rest of the season, they would have finished higher up
Well,
on the table.
he went to
but-
Stoke, didn't he? And it's a bigger club,
Sideways
lots more
move.
budget.
Stoke.
But there's a lot more money in it to build a squad there. I can see why he did it.
The thing is with Stoke, and I'll keep saying it, it's the same when Nathan Jones jumped ship from Luton to Stoke. Stoke's hierarchy are full of people with egos, and that's why they are sat where they are. They think they're a big Premier League side. They're not. They're a Championship side. At the end of the day, that's where they are. And they've got players that have egos that are still on the books. They're overpaying on wages. They've got owners who think they're bigger than they are, and that's why they always sit where they do. They won't ever progress until they sort out the hierarchy.
Yeah.
it's always interesting looking at Stoke because on paper the summer was fantastic, like who they brought in, the profile of players, and then they always, it's like same with summer before, they always bring in good quality players, but then always 16th. They are always 16th in the Championship.
It's a cold, rainy night in Stoke, but not for anyone else anymore. Let's talk a little bit about managers. McKenna, obviously amazing, and then Carrick's not done too badly at Middlesbrough, given how his squad was picked apart. And then finally Rooney. Then the whole situation at Birmingham, because they brought him in, and it's just kind of crumbled, isn't it?
It was a terrible decision, and now look where they are. And I cannot wait for them to be humbled when they finish mid-table in League One. They're not going to go straight back up. And I'm saying this, all their fans going, "Oh, we're going to win the league. We're going to piss it." No, you're not.
No,
you're not. And it's exactly how Derby came down. Yeah, it's exactly how Derby came down and said we're going to piss the league, and they didn't. They didn't even get playoffs in their first year. They will not perform. One thing I do, because I know we've got to end.
We're running out of time, so we
need to talk about Danny Rowell before we move on, because he's done a fantastic achievement. And the QPR manager, and his name slips my mind.
I forgot his name,
but he done a fantastic job as well. But Danny Rowell for me, and I know obviously McKenna led Ipswich up. Danny Rowell's my manager of the season.
No.
He is.
No.
You think Wednesday joint lowest point tally when he went in. Joint lowest, worst record for a start in Championship history.
Damn.
And he's turned it around and got them into playoff form. And now they've obviously stayed up. If they can hold on to him next summer, they will push on.
And we'll get a Sheffield derby next year.
We will.
United have come back down. So I wasn't expecting that at the start of the season. I thought they'd be 2 leagues apart, but here we are. Last couple of points before someone shouts at me to finish. Huddersfield are now in League One, given they were in the Premier League a few years ago.
Another team that think they're going to piss the league.
Probably not.
I mean,
but they've got more of a chance.
I don't know though.
I don't know.
Michael Duff.
They're losing a lot of
Michael Duff
players.
is a fantastic manager, but I've been to Huddersfield. I've seen Huddersfield a fair amount being in the Championship. They've never played good football.
Yeah,
I've never seen a Huddersfield team play.
Duff
good
doesn't play good
football.
football, so it probably suits them.
It could suit them, but they've been on that sort of verge. Same with Birmingham; they've been on that verge of relegation. It's same to us before we got relegated. We've just was sitting there, and now it's happened. It's going to be tough League One next year.
Your only team that's going to go straight back up is Rotherham, and that's because they always do.
Yeah,
I don't know though.
Steve Evans.
They've got Steve Evans.
They've signed Clark Harris, and I don't think Clark Harris is a spitting image of what he has been.
But Steve Evans
still know where to put the ball in the back of the net.
Exactly. He'll give them the goals. So if he can work the team around him, I think he'll do really well. Sammy Smoddock's top goal scorer, potential on his way to Everton.
Deserves to move.
He deserves to move. He's carried Blackburn this season.
I think Blackburn were 17th. They're low.
They almost got relegated.
And the top goal scorer in the league.
Exactly.
He's had a fantastic
especially
season.
Considering where Blackburn were. Yeah, great season from him. And then finally, last point I want to make on the Championship. Jamie Vardy had a great year, got loads of goals. Is this his swan song? Is this? I think we're definitely seeing last season where he's a starter at Leicester. But is this his last season at Leicester? Does he leave now and move on?
Nah.
I don't think he will. I think he'll sort of. They'll need him. I think first of all in the Premier League, that experience, that level head. He's been there, he's done it, and especially with they have manager's first time. That'll be his first time managing in the Prem. They'll need him. I think that experience, the level head he can bring, he can sort of offer more off the pitch than he can on the pitch next season, which I feel like Leicester have to keep him. He is Mr. Leicester.
He is.
I think a Leicester is Jamie Vardy.
Will he go back to Wednesday to retire though? Go back to Sheffield.
When did he play for Wednesday?
He was in their academy, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Before going down to
going down
to non-league.
Wouldn't surprise me if he goes back down there.
I think he'll stay. Maybe at one point return to Wednesday, but I think this season he will stay. He'll stay at Leicester. Yeah. He's won promotion. He's he's that heartbeat of that team.
Yeah, I think that's sort of one that you retire at. Or will he retire at Leicester? And he's obviously got a big. What's the word? He'll have a testimonial there. That's He's got a big thing around him at Leicester.
Yeah,
heritage.
Yeah, that's sort of the word. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. But I think there's definitely last season we'll see him as a starter, and what season it was, he's got loads of goals in there,
Leicester as well,
and led them to a promotion.
Who was the player they just signed? Winger. They got him.
Oh,
release clause.
Oh yeah, I know you mean.
Something.
Yeah, something like that.
I know
He
what
had
you
a
mean.
very,
He was
very
there
good
on loan
season.
already. Yeah.
Very good year. So
Yeah,
they've made some exciting signings, but
Harry Winks is back in the Prem as well. That's going to be a good.
Yes.
Decent
Well,
in the Prem.
on the Red Show next year, we'll talk all things Premier League, and we'll talk about how Leicester get on, and also how the beloved Ipswich gets on in the Premier League. But for now, I think we'll call it there. Thank you very much, boys, for
Thank
joining
you very
me
much.
and talking on about the EFL. If you like the show, please drop us a comment and a like. There's a little thanks button down there if you want to donate to us at all. And we'll see you all next season. Thanks for watching.